Elements, the fundamental building blocks of all interactions between objects in space. Some are smelly, some are hard, some are soft, but what are elements? Okay, you know what elements are, just shut the minuscule dots and rings that have different properties. That's all you really need to know. I mean, at first these rings had very few balls, but over time due to combinations and big explosions, you're capable of getting a few differing results with these guys. So, what are the most common ones, and what do they do? Well, sulfur. Sometimes when it comes out of you, it smells good. Other times, maybe not so much. I mean, it's in the biggest of volcanoes in the smallest of holes, being your pores. It's also one of the greatest foods imaginable, being garlic. You know, it's often said that if you don't like a food, it's because you've never had it cooked right, and that's definitely the case with sulfur. Iron, another harder substance that's more similar to sulfur than you think. It's integral to human progress and human progress. A billion years ago, Monkey 1 decided to pick up a rock and melt it to create a bunch of more rocks, and now we're still carrying on his legacy, creating a bunch of different types of rocks. Except, Rock 0 was always inside of him all along, because that stark bright red is what creates blood. They even have a whole condition where you don't get enough of it. Silicon. Despite sounding cool and futuristic, silicon is just another shillion-year-old material. It usually occurs as pretty crystals, which are heralded as gifts by kings and such, until it was finally found how to separate it from oxygen and do nothing with. I mean, it might be even more valuable in the future, assuming we're really heading towards this silicon age with privacy doesn't exist and you have to turn in your pronoun card to the federal government for egalitarian food stamps. Silicon is also defined by its relation to a much more important element known as carbon, only because they're so similar, and carbon is like the formation point for basically all life. So could silicon form a bunch of weird, strange creatures somewhere on Zepler 14? I don't know. Now we're back to these weird guys once again. Instead of being nice and normal, magnesium is odd but effective. It's inside of basically everything. You, the earth, space, the ocean, and of course a bunch of random assorted seeds where, I don't know, everything is found eventually. He really cannot decide what he wants. I mean, sometimes it's explosive, sometimes he's a rock, sometimes he's sand. Magnesium is just the middle ground between a lot of elements, but I seriously do not trust it. It's just jack of all trades, master of none type situation to me. Back to the simple guys. Nitrogen is just such a plain little gas that's taken over the atmosphere of Earth. It's really just one of the most simple, trustworthy in the entire universe. Like, he's just here to guard it and not much else, right? It's tangled in this huge web of the biosphere once again, killing anything that breathes too much of it, yet contributing to a balance of chemicals necessary for life's very specific set of instructions. So, of course, it has its own cycle and handbook and everything like that. Neon. Where is neon? Well, it's the first of the noble gases, a set of upstanding gentlemen too scared to show their true emotions, so instead they just stick in the air and pretend like they're working. Neon specifically is kind of like the bastard stepchild of helium, except they have one cool trick, which is their propensity to be placed in lights. So I told you we would get to this guy later. Carbon, he's just really the main guy. I mean, looking at the biased liberal media periodic table, you think nothing of him, but looking anywhere else, you'd realize that he's basically everywhere because you are him. The basis of life, like a lot of rocks and even the stuff that makes you be able to breathe at all. Carbon is just really the OG. On the other hand, oxygen is a pretty chill guy that's susceptible to blowing up if you catch him in the wrong state. Yet, paradoxically, he likes to be friends with everyone, and basically he just forms bonds with everything that he can get his hands on. Which is what helium is also for. A notoriously lighter than air element that often gives its users a pitch like no other. The only danger is possible asphyxiation. Its structure is a gift and a curse, leading to great stability in its craft, yet also making it very hard to take advantage of until we can actually get to the sun, of course. I mean, being where it's got its name and probably where it lives or something. Okay, I mean, yeah, it's true that at one point the whole universe was just one giant ball of hydrogen, but I would argue that he's really past his glory days. The things that he's spun into are a lot more interesting than the originator of those things. So you know what? I'm moving past hydrogen and helium and all of the rest of them into the future. You could argue random chance never really went away because most of the people watching this have no free will or whatever, but I'd appeal to oxygen's plight of creation and destruction. Whether or not any of these stupid rocks or gases or whatever magnesium is now at all matters. What actually really does matter is how cool all of this is, that somehow they can coalesce into something greater than the sum of their parts.